Welcome to Invest Insights. I'm Abby Maloney. I'm joined today by Scott Hislop, the president and owner of Minnesota for Transworld Business Advisors. Scott, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me, Abby. I'm excited to be a part of it.
You know, in season 4, we're going to be looking at this new economy that's been created by the pandemic, looking at this new normal that's been created with new business strategies that are going to be shaping our future. But before we get to that discussion, I want to ask you what you have personally been adopting during the pandemic that you see continuing into the future. Any new interests or hobbies, technologies, or just way of operating that you found yourself adapting to during these past 16 months that will lead you into the future?
Well, on a personal note, probably my wife and I are more of a wine connoisseur than we were pre-pandemic. So that probably isn't going to change and will continue. So that's been a fun ride over the course of the last year and a half. So
I'll have to poke you for some wine recommendations. Are you a red or a white? What's your
red. Cabernet. So
good. I am too. I'll have to ask you to consult you next time.
Yeah, Napa Valley.
In the current in this current environment for the economy, what are some of the primary roadblocks that you see that are preventing business sales and acquisitions at this time? And how much can these challenges be attributed to the issues at a federal level as compared to just issues with the businesses in general?
Yeah, well, certainly today, just about every business that we talk with, and we're industry agnostic, so across all industries, labor is first and foremost on everyone's mind. The labor shortage that companies are facing is creating huge issues. With companies being able to operate less than 100% capacity. And we talk with a lot of business owners that are looking to sell and are afraid to sell or don't want to sell now because they're not able to operate at normal levels, and it's creating huge financial burden on company owners today. So certainly on a federal level, we need to get people back to work. We need people to go back to being able to work for a living, and we can't have them sitting at home getting more money not working than going to their job. So that's first and foremost across all sectors today.
And how much of a factor are the outstanding PPP loans in slowing down or preventing the sales of businesses?
It was a little bit of an issue in the first half of the year. We had to have some funds stay in escrow, and we did some of that. But the second half of the year should be better. Obviously, people need to expend the amounts of their PPP through labor or other expenses. And as we get into the second half of the year, most of the companies will have done that, and to be able to offset the amounts of the PPP loans, so it'll be less of an issue.
With the ease of and access to seemingly unlimited information thanks to technology, why are firms like yours still a necessity for business owners looking to sell?
Yeah, good question. So being a business owner or CEO of a business is a full-time job, right? So is being a business broker that's selling the business, and business owners don't have time to do both. And we strongly encourage everyone and tell them, that the year before you sell is going to be the year that you're going to work harder than you ever have before, and you need to be 110% focused on the business and let us, take care of the business brokerage side and the items that need to be done, on that side. So.
And what are some of the most common mistakes that you watch business owners seeking to sell or buyers in this current climate that you're advising currently?
So one of the biggest things that we see from sellers and hear quite often from business owners is, hey, I'm going to sell my business myself. I know or have a buyer, and we're just going to do it ourselves. And I see that time and time again. That just ends up in travesty for the business owners. Typically, and especially with private equity funds at times, the due diligence period can take 3 to 4 to 6 months time, and it wears the business owner down through that period. And sometimes they're not careful with confidentiality and disclose to their employees and staff that they're selling, and then there's issues that come up when they're at the 5 or 10 yard line of getting the deal done, and that allows the buyer to get the business purchased for a reduced price because the seller is so is distraught with the process and is willing to cave into the seller. So we need, our biggest value that we provide is keeping multiple buyers at the table and making sure that we're holding the buyer's feet to the fire all the way to the end to get the highest value for the customer.
And what are some of the most common mistakes that you see sellers and buyers make in the current climate? And how does a broker like Transworld address these?
Yeah, good question. On the seller side, I think there's two camps. There's one camp that says, "Hey, I need to sell my business sooner rather than later," and we've gotten some of those come to us and say, "I was 3 or 4 years out, but I want to do it now and take advantage of the current rates." And then the other camp is creating more of a paralyzing effect, and people are afraid to make a decision because of the uncertainty that they see. So it's just creating a lot of fear, and fear, creates just a lack of indecision. So two different camps there on the seller side. On the buyer side, I think there's opportunities. We're seeing more buyers come to us because they view owning a business and operating a business as a way for a tax shelter, and enhance their position going forward. So certainly is a big area of concern for everyone going forward.
And now that we find ourselves in this new economy, this new landscape, what's next for Transworld Business Advisors and your sector overall?
Yeah. So Transworld is the world leader in business brokerage. We are in over 41 states, 17 countries, and have about $4.5 billion of listings. We're certainly going to take advantage of all of the new technology, and we're going to be cognizant of the new laws and regulations that we have. But one thing that isn't going to change is our passion for business owners. We're passionate about helping entrepreneurs buy and sell businesses, and we have advisors on staff today with that expertise that's going to continue for years to come.
Okay. Well, thank you again. That's Scott Hislop, the president and owner for Minnesota Transworld Business Advisors. My name is Abby Malone, and you've been watching Invest Insights. Scott, thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey everyone, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can stay up to date on the latest business trends from our knowledgeable experts. Be sure to check out the description below for more information on the segment you just watched. Thanks for tuning in.